thank you for having me back
Definitely.
again.
Well, Kathy, I would like to pick up from our last session when we had talked about your situation at home and with your husband and his health conditions.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me more. Let's recap a little bit. Tell me more about home. How is it as of now?
It's okay. A little bit less stressful, but it's okay.
I noticed that when I had asked you to tell me a little bit more about your husband's medical condition, even though you're saying you're less stressed, I see you rubbing your hands together. It looks like you seem to be a little stressed still.
Yes, I'm trying not to think about the situation, but it's still frustrating, stressful. you know, uh, what I'm going through. With him, and I tried to keep myself uplifted by thinking of other things.
So, Kathy, how do you feel? What are you thinking about your husband's medical condition as of now?
Well, I'm still worried about his condition and everything. He still have problems remembering, and the medication that he's supposed to take. I have to remember what medication to give him, and sometimes he get a little frustrated. And I notice him when he taking his medicine that he leaves a pill out, and I have to later see which pill that he didn't took out that I gave him.
Okay. So, again, speaking of our last session, and we also talked about retirement for you and your husband, timing with the pills, taking medication on time, also talking about doctor's appointments, making sure that you also make it to your doctor appointment as well as his doctor appointment, and then just the lifestyle at home. So with that being said, I want to know at this point, has anything changed, or how do you feel about the situation now with all three components? Because we did speak about that before: retirement, home, and then your scheduling timing.
Yeah, I think about not having no time for myself. Different things that I love to do. I have to keep up with him with his medication, and sometimes my friends, I look for support for them, and they're not really supporting me on the situation that I think they should be more supportive.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you, is that do you have a support system? So at this point, dealing with the frustration and this little bit of sadness, it seems as if you're confused, is that you don't have any support system from your friends. So can you tell me more about that?
Yes, I don't have no support system from my friends. I wish they would support me a little bit more, and it'll kind of help the situation out if I had a little bit more of support from my friends, who I think is my friends, and I think they should be supporting me more with my situation.
So that, yes, and it sounds like you're feeling helpless, and it feels like you feel a little of sadness that you do need that support, because I know your husband definitely needs your support from what you're telling me, from what I'm listening to how you're describing your daily living and your situation with the two of you. Our last session, I did ask you about a calendar, creating a calendar for you and your husband to list the days of medications that he needs to take, and yourself, because we don't exclude you at all. We also spoke about doctor's appointments for your husband as well as yourself. And I just want to ask you, how is that working out?
That's working out just fine. It helping me out scheduling his appointments, and then I have medical problems too, so I schedule mine. But I really like it that you suggest that calendar for me. It really helping me out. You know, it taking some of the stress away from, away from my daily chores that I have to do for him.
Okay. And I do see that it looks like there's a little bit of less stress, but also I'm still reading in your face, your facial expression, still showing that you do have stress that's still going on in your life, even though you're trying to work through it and organize and you're trying to compartmentalize everything that's going on. I am glad that you mentioned that you are less stressed, so at least we know that there's progress. And that's
Yes.
very important to see some type of progress. It's not going to be a miracle overnight, but definitely it is a progress, and you're willing to work towards that. And that's what's very important. So to call back the situation, we're saying that anxiety, I know that you had mentioned a little bit of that before, and sadness, and also support system. So that's something new that we talked about today. We didn't talk about it the last session, but we talked about it today. So then now we're identifying that there is a need for a support system. Okay,
Yes.
so and that's basically how the world works. We look at it like, we do need a support system. And what I can tell you, Kathy, is that it was so unique. I see sometimes we as humans are like a fan. Fan operates properly and it gives off coolness. So as a fan, fans as it's operating, just like our body and us, we're feeling cool. When the fans stop operating, then we feel hot and we don't feel cool. We feel stressed or feel anxiety. So if that makes sense. So that's why sometimes you kind of can see it, and it can be somewhat like a little humor to yourself. You say, I feel like I'm not operating properly like a fan. A fan give off coolness, so my personality and myself need to be cool. But when the fan stop working, it's like, whoa, especially in Texas. So you talk about the heat. It's like, oh, we're not working properly. What can we do to fix the situation? So that's just something to think about as you go along. Also, I was also looking at different things that we can do to try to work on it, because my goal for you is for you to find a way to relax. So here's the thing. It's called a deep muscle relaxation. Okay, this is something that I would like for you to try here with me. And if it doesn't work, then we'll try something different. But I'm thinking that you need to try out here and see if it works for you. I'll explain it first. So then that way you'll say whether or not that you like it. So what it is that the deep muscle relaxation is where you sit up. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I explain this right to you. And I'll do it myself. I'll demonstrate so then that way you'll know. Okay. So you're going to sit up and you're going to try to feel a little relaxed. You will have to close your eyes. You're comfortable with closing your eyes?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So you have different muscle groups, but stress a lot of times is held within your neck and your shoulders. So if you see yourself sometimes stressed out, you find yourself kind of like, sometimes you don't realize it, but you're like, okay. So what you will do is not yet, but you can just watch what I do. So you're going to close your eyes, but also you have two hands. So you will place one hand on your chest, because usually that's where you see your breathing at, just like babies. And you'll place the other hand on your stomach, kind of like where your diaphragm is at. Okay? So there's two counts. The first count is you're going to pretty much like you're creating a stress situation in such a way. So you're going to tense up your muscles, like tighten it. So you're just like, okay? And you're closing your eyes, and you have your hands here positioned. This is how you monitor yourself and your breathing. And then you tense it up for 6 to 7 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you're going to release by blowing out of your mouth slowly for at least 20 seconds. If you can't do 20, that's okay. So there. So now you try it. So Kathy, close your eyes and place your hand, on your chest. Another hand on your stomach. Close your eyes. Okay, so tighten your muscles. Don't try to hurt your muscles. Tighten up a little bit. There you go. So then now for 6 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release off your mouth. Breathe slowly. Release. There you go. You're just releasing everything, your muscles and everything. Don't tighten nothing up. Just release. You can let your shoulders loose. Just release. Awesome. So how do you feel, Kathy?
I feel relieved.
You feel relieved?
I felt the release.
Release.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So see, you came in here, you came through that door
Yeah.
feeling tense.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you felt sad, you felt not supported, you felt like your husband, your heart is, you have passion for your husband, and you feel like you want to do something, you need to do something to help your husband out, but you want to bring that happiness back into your guys' life. So you came in here with all those different entities and different pieces of the puzzle, but we talked about it, you identified where the problems were, and you also expressed how you felt, which is good. And then now I gave you a goal and also a technique, and you're working on it. So then therefore you didn't think nothing of the such, as far as nothing of a happiness, of non-support for friends or anything.
No.
Okay. Now that exercise there, you can try it at least twice a day. Like when you feel that tense, that stress, make sure that you are in an environment, a room that is quiet and to yourself. And you see, it's only took 6 to 7 seconds.
Yes.
You know, to tighten your muscle. Don't hurt yourself. Just tighten a little bit, and then 20 seconds to release. So all together, you're talking about 26 to 27 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And that is it.
Okay.
I would love to see you come back again, and we can talk about it as we go. But I see progress, and I see you moving along, and I like it that you're open, you're willing to work with me. And if there's any other questions, Kathy, this will be the end of our session, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, I look forward to come again too. I appreciate everything you did for me, and it's very helpful.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Have a
Okay,
good day.
see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.